in his green tie.
Thanks, Senator Schumer. Now that the House has done their part, we have to do ours, and we start this week. We're beginning the reconciliation ordeal, and many of you have witnessed it. It is, as Senator Schumer said, it means many long nights and many amendments that frankly don't go to the heart of the issue, but are attempts to divert us into some other political question. I think our caucus is focused as it should be. We know the American people are counting on us. We don't have a day to lose. We need to put that money into buying vaccines and distributing them as quickly as possible. There should be no questions asked about that. We've got to keep our word to the American people about the second half of that $2,000 payment. We've got to make sure that those who are unemployed don't find March 14th to be a disaster day, but a day of continuity so their families can continue to be fed. This is Joe Biden's initiation. It's his centerpiece of his administration. It's his demonstration to the American people that he heard them loud and clear as he was campaigning across America. We are going to come together, face the reality of this pandemic, and put it behind us. And I think Joe Biden is going to persevere and, with our help, succeed in charting a new day for America.
Senator Murray.
Thank you. The American Rescue Plan deals with the kinds of problems that I have heard nonstop from people in my home state of Washington from the start of this crisis, like, how am I going to pay my bills and keep a roof over my head? How am I supposed to go to work if I don't have childcare or my kids aren't safely in school? Why can't I get a test? When can I get a vaccine? So it's no surprise to me there is such strong support nationwide for the policies we are about to send to President Biden's desk. Families need direct relief. We are going to send it. Too many are still out of work. We're going to prevent expanded unemployment benefits from expiring on March 14th. We'll get help to get vaccines in arms faster, hire and train more public health workers, and ramp up testing capacity. We'll invest in programs to counter the disproportionate harm COVID-19 has caused, specifically to communities of color and tribes, and expand affordable insurance to families. We'll give schools much-needed resources to help students get back to classrooms for in-person learning safely and stabilize our struggling child care sector, both of which are critical to helping women and working families get back to work. We'll support small businesses and help states keep teachers and firefighters and sanitation workers and others on the job. People support the American Rescue Plan because the American Rescue Plan supports people, workers, families, communities who know firsthand the loss and hardship of the last year. To those who are struggling, we have been listening, and we're going to tackle the public health care crisis and get our economy going again. To Republicans in Congress who insist help for workers and families, investments in safely reopening schools, speeding up vaccine distribution, and more are not necessary, who say we're somehow overstating a need. It is time to start listening to the economists and the mayors, to the governors, to the public health experts, people nationwide who want Congress to treat the COVID-19 crisis as seriously as they do, and then join us in doing what the American people have made absolutely clear they want done. Send the American Rescue Plan to President Biden's desk so families and communities can weather this storm and we can continue the work ahead to bring back our economy in a way that is stronger and fairer than ever.
It's hard to believe that it's March again, and for so many people across this country, communities, small businesses, moms and dads and kids, it feels like last March never ended. People need help now simply to survive, and we understand that. That's what the American Rescue Plan is all about. And we know that our economy can't be healthy until our people are healthy. That's just the bottom line. And so that's why we feel such a sense of urgency to get the vaccines into people's arms and to do what is necessary to help people survive and be able to make sure our children can get back into classrooms safely. We know that the American Rescue Plan tackles these urgent public health needs, first and foremost, providing billions in funding to get vaccines in people's arms, to provide supplies and testing and staffing to stop the spread of COVID-19. It'll lower or eliminate health insurance premiums for millions of Americans right now. And it tackles some of the systemic health inequities that underserved communities and communities of colors have faced for generations. And just as importantly, this is focusing on behavioral health. People are suffering right now, both in body and in mind. And we need to make sure that we are addressing health care above the neck as well as health care below the neck. And that's what is in this bill. We also have needed support for hard-hit rural communities to address what is happening, to keep our rural hospitals open and telehealth care available. And we also, in this bill, are addressing pandemic-related disruptions to our food supply chain, to get help for our farmers to be able to get food to hungry families, and to offer assistance to farmers of color who have faced discrimination for too long. We're a year into the pandemic, and American families and communities need to know that someone continues to have their back. That's what this is all about, and we're here today to tell them that help is on the way.
Thank you, Debbie. Yes.
Leader Schumer, you have said that the Senate is not going to be a legislative graveyard for House bills like it was last Congress. Can you talk about the House is starting to send a ton of bills over Equality Act, HR 1 this week, the policing bill, and a ton of bills coming up after that? What your strategy and timing is on these
Yes,
bills?
first, look, let me say this. I believe my caucus believes, excuse me, I'm supposed to keep the mask on when I talk to you all. I believe, and I believe my caucus believes, that we need big, bold action. And we're going to figure out the best way to get big, bold action on a whole lot of fronts. We're not going to be the legislative graveyard, very simply. McConnell refused to put bills on the floor. I'm putting bills on the floor. People are going to be forced to vote on them, yes or no, on a whole lot of very important and serious issues. Yes?
Are you open to lowering the $400 per week enhanced unemployment benefit and Health Tax Bill to $300 to get the support of average?
Look, I supported the $600. I think that put a lot of money into the economy, and it was very good. I know that this was brought up when the group yesterday met with Joe Biden, and they're discussing it. Yes? I called on her.
Thank you, Leader. Do you think New York Governor Andrew Cuomo should resign?
Look, the allegations that have been made by Ms. Rush and Ms. Boylan and Ms. Bennett are serious, very troubling. These women have to be listened to. I've always believed that sexual harassment is not acceptable, must not be tolerated. Now there's an investigation in the hands of a very, very capable person, the Attorney General of New York State. I supported it and called for it, and now she's doing it. I know the Attorney General will conduct a thorough investigation that will be totally, totally independent without any interference, outside interference, political or otherwise. You're next.
In 2017, when Senator Al Franken's allegations were made against him, you personally called for him to resign, and those necessarily weren't fully investigated before you called for the resignation. So what's the difference here? Is there a double standard?
Look, the bottom line is, just let me say, on this issue, I have a great deal of faith in the Attorney General's investigation.
So how surprised were you at these allegations, and how quickly does the investigation need to move?
I have faith in the Attorney General's investigation. I'll leave that to her.
Were you surprised?
Yes, yes.
To follow up on Lindsay's question, if Republicans block things like voting rights, immigration reform, and Equality Act, are you supportive of getting rid of the 60-vote legislative vote?
The bottom line is we're going to figure out, we're going to come together as a caucus and figure out the way to get the bold action that the American people demand. But we will put bills on the floor. That's the huge difference between McConnell and us. Last one.
On the COVID relief bill,
Yes.
sounds like you're open to changes to this bill when it comes to the floor.
Look, we want to get the biggest, strongest, boldest bill that can pass, and that's what we're working to do. Thank you, everybody.